But good to see everybody. This is welcome to Speaker Co-working. This is our daily 12 o'clock call sponsored by SpeakerHub, in which I am the head of speaker booking, head of operations, owner, janitor, chief bottle washer, and on the internet, the host of this call. We do this call every day at 12 o'clock and also again at 7 p.m. for those in different time zones. So feel free to join us, whether you're a SpeakerHub customer or not. You're always welcome to come on to learn how to get booked on more stages, learn the tricks of the trade, how we book other people, how people use our bureau services, software, speaker page, everything. Pretty exciting time. So I think everyone here so far has introduced themselves. I think we got an introduction from everyone. Oh, Jack, I don't think you've been on the 12. You've been on the 7 o'clock. So you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Jack Roddy. I'm out of Philadelphia, PA in the US of A, and I am a business and leadership coach, working mostly in North America, mostly the United States.
Okay, cool. Perfect. So any results over the weekend, any podcast bookings, any association, conference feedback, conference bookings, anybody speaking coming up?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I have one even booked for tonight. I sent out some information on Friday and I got 3 scheduled for this week.
Perfect. No, that's incredible. Lawrence?
I've got one coming up on Saturday with Ann. I've also got a few that's been reaching out to me, like the association. It's called Demole. Turns out they have one about 20 minutes from me. And reached out to them, and that specific one hasn't responded yet, but I've had a few responses from other ones, their association. So I'm booking calls with them to eventually get booked.
Is that the
And
one that Bart made the reference to for you on Thursday? I think Bart suggested one that you reach out. He had found a group that would be a good fit for you.
Yeah, it was that one. And
that's incredible. High five, Bart.
It's amazing.
Yeah, no, that's part of the community and part of the network. I mean, you just never know who's in the audience and what resources they have available. So good to hear you follow. First off, high five to you, Lawrence, for following up. You know how many times people get leads and never follow up. So taking action to follow up on a suggestion and a referral is really important to me and everyone else in this business. Mick, I see your hands up. What's up?
Thank you. I just was able to book a couple conferences in November. They're both related to foster care. I work in community economic development, trauma-informed care, that kind of space, do a lot of work with just involved kids, that kind of thing. So basically really messy spaces is where I tend to do a lot of my work. And then in developmental spaces and organizations that are really trying to up their game and be in great places to work, and especially for traditionally disenfranchised people. So super excited about upping my game, though. I was a professional speaker for a long time. I was actually a senior pastor of a church, and then I transitioned more into kind of back-end grant-funded organizational development kind of things. And I'm trying to get back into the game on the speaking side, and the opportunity to connect with more clients is really key for me right now. So I'm grateful for this.
Oh, no, that's super duper important. Bonnie, what's up?
Good morning, y'all. I sent pitches this morning, Ron, so you'll quit booking on me.
Heck yeah, there it is. There it is, Bonnie. High five. Way to get started. Way to get started. We are all proud of you.
Thank you.
That's the first domino. Once you realize when you click pitch, your house doesn't explode. You just keep pitching.
That's right. That's right. And I have a few things coming up, and I gotta say, our friend Njadika, she must be super popular, because I just signed up to be on her podcast because I'm a fit for what she does, and I have to wait till May. I'm really excited
Njadika's
about
pretty
that.
busy.
It's really
No,
cool.
that's pretty cool, man. Good to see this working out. This is incredible. Rhonda, good to see you join. Leroy, good to see you. Cardis, I see you snuck in down here. Janissa, good to see you guys working. I don't see Waldo and McNeil. She hasn't popped in yet, but I'm sure she'll pop in and tell us where in the world she is floating to on her cruise ship.
Rio de Janeiro today.
Okay. All right. She's back in Rio. Cool. That's
Yep.
perfect. And Jadika, what's up?
Following instructions, Ron, I got my first inquiry about how I can work with an association. And the association is dealing with, it's in Baltimore, that's dealing with working with feeding hungry youth. And I'm sitting here trying to say, now, how do I fit that in? But thanks to AI, it came up with some suggestions. And I sent that to them, and they are waiting to get back to me to see how we can possibly work together. So that's my first association connection in terms of moving in that direction, in terms of
No,
speaking to someone as it relates to what I do.
no, that's incredible. You just started pitching associations in the last 30 days or so, right? Because I think you were focused heavily on
Yes,
getting things set up at first. So that's cool.
yes.
High freaking five. Way to go, Jadika. You know, Jadika has figured out the process. She is the most diligent, patient person. I'm just going to do the basics every day. And we see the results that she consistently gets. So high five to you, Jadika. And, you know, I can't wait to hear this podcast with you and Bonnie. That's going to be interesting. He's so funny. No, I love both of you. It's always good. You
I'm
know, I
looking
love the
forward to
personalities.
it. I'm really looking forward to it because Bonnie sent me a message. Because one of the things about when you are doing podcasts and you relate it to health, you get a lot of the MLNs and the network marketing folks. And so on my podcast questionnaire, you got to qualify because I have to look and see if I want you on my podcast, although you're doing MLNs and all of that. And Bonnie came back and said, oh, I don't see how I fit in. And so we had to send back to Bonnie, that doesn't apply to you. We want you on our show.
No, that's cool, man. High five. High five. Lawrence, what's up?
Yeah. So something that I've noticed, which has been improving the amount of rate of responses and openness people are giving me, is that in the response I've been getting, I often will mention something along, are you just open to a call to learn more about me?
Yep. Yeah,
Because
that is it.
when I was going in with just the idea of, do you guys hire speakers? That's like, you're kind of asking that's a bit of a big ask to just come out the water with. But are you guys looking for speakers? Are you open to a call to learn more about me? Sure, a phone call doesn't cost anything.
Yep,
Maybe we'll get
exactly.
on a call with him and realize that he's exactly what we want, but we just weren't looking for speakers in that moment. And a few of the associations that have been either reaching out to me or have responded to me, they'll mention, we don't have anything coming up right now, but we will keep you in mind because you have the skills that we look for.
100%. I think that that's really important for everyone, which is you're not pitching to get a gig. You're pitching to build a relationship. And then when the opportunities come up, you want them to think of you, not just this year, but every year. One of my clients, Stan Pearson, who's probably does 60 association gigs a year. Stan is very big on relationships. Some of his associations, I know one
Me
in
rice
particular that
and
he works
peas
with.
and chicken.
Oh, so order me some too. I want some rice and peas and chicken too. But Stan has a relationship with the Virginia Association he's done for 10 years. And several of the universities bring him back all the time because he understood that it was a relationship. It wasn't just, hey, pick me to dance today. It's no, where can I fit in? How can we build this thing over time? And, several of my, the events that I do very few, but the ones that I do, I'm usually welcome back all the time. The Leadership Experience Tour up in Michigan, I can go there and talk every time they do an event. Anything with Brian Olds, I can go talk there all the time. Any Speakers Magazine's events, those types of events, I'm a consistent participant because of the relationship with the event host. So
Yeah.
guys, remember that you're trying to build relationships. You're not just trying to get picked. You're trying to be their go-to person on this topic. Does that make
Yes.
sense? So
And
go ahead.
I was going to add in on the relationship part there that even places where even places that said, okay, you're not exactly what we're looking for, but we know somebody who you are. So an association that was, their main subject was about how youth can better impact the climate. That was essentially what it boiled down to. Environmental awareness for young people. And what I do is mental health for young people. So resilience, confidence, things of that sort, which we both involve young people just in different ways. And they let it be known to me that you don't speak on environmental awareness, but we know a school principal. So you speak to schools, hear somebody.
There it is. No, Lawrence, high five, man. Lawrence is one of our speaker scholarship students. We started a program because of Lawrence maybe 3 weeks ago. He came on and he told us what he did. And we created a program called Speaker Scholarships, where anybody who is under the age of 22 years old can get use of any of SpeakerHub services for free until they become an adult. Earlier this morning, I granted a scholarship myself, the first one that I've directly granted, to a young lady who is in South Africa who runs a chicken farm. She sells about 1,000 chickens a month that she raises on her own. She gave me a whole lesson on how to do chickens and things of that sort. And I said, dude, how can I, like, you're not trying to do OnlyFans? I definitely got to support this, right? And I know that's a bad joke, but everybody nowadays is twerking on Instagram and doing stupid stuff. And I found a young lady who was doing something I didn't even have to, I don't know how to farm anything. I'm gonna ask y'all a question because I may have been the only idiot who doesn't know this answer. How long does it take for a chicken to go from an egg to a full-grown chicken? Anybody know?
I'm going to guess 21 days.
21 days. Okay, that's a good guess. Who else got some? I mean, I'm talking about from the little yellow thing to the it's about to be some wings thing, like a full chicken, not like a almost full chicken.
Yeah, it's like 6 months, isn't it?
6 freaking weeks.
Depends on how many steroids they giving it.
6 weeks. She said her chickens go from eggs to sold in 6 weeks. I said, holy crap. And she was like, you don't believe me? Google it. I Googled it. They were like, 6 weeks. I said, holy smokes. I'm like, what type of super growth hormone is inside a chicken? But we granted her a speaker scholarship so that she could continue to talk about environmental awareness and sustainability and organic food growth in South Africa. So, but now I think we're up to maybe 8 people that we've given scholarships to in the last week. Pretty excited about the program. You can make recommendations to anybody that you know that's a speaker that is under the age of 22. We'll go up to 22. That's our limit. And we want to help them to get on more stages to promote more positive messages in the world. I believe that at SpeakerHub, our job is to be kind of like the Motown for public speakers. There's no record label for speakers, if we think of it from a music perspective, that promotes the voices of speakers, and we want to do that. But without the egregious contracts that we hear artists argue about with music labels. So we don't take any commissions. We don't do any rev shares. We just operate on a bureau membership fee. And that varies based on what level of access you want to our tools. So if you just want access to our podcast data, totally different than if you want access to our association data, which is totally different if you want access to our high paid conference data. But that's based on what level of speaker you are. And it's pretty reasonable. So a lot of the people on this call are our lifetime members that said, dude, I want to give you chunk of money right now, and I never want to pay you ever again. And I said, you got a deal. So there's probably 8 or 9 lifetime members in here now. Some of them have been with me since we started this company back in April of 2020. I know AJ has been with me since then. He may be the oldest lifetime member, you know, that we have. I know Kevin has been with us for several years. So, you know, we've been doing this. Arain, I know Arain has been here at least 3 years, has been with us for at least 3 years. So this is what we do. We love to get people booked, and I'm glad to see you all. So Jasmine, what's your question, feedback?
Before we got to the chicken lady and Leroy's rice and peas and chicken,
It only took 6 weeks for Leroy to get that plate.
I know, eh? So basically, one of the and I think it was someone was speaking about when they went on, they said that I'm not ready for you now. So someone emailed me back and said, "Oh my God, you fit us perfectly. You're what we're looking for. There's a one-time fee of $99." And I've made a commitment to myself. I will always respond to the one that's asking, and they're trying to tell me why they needed the $99, right? It says this person's busy, and I'll be exposed and all that. So I reached back and I said, I'm happy that you find that my services, match, and I will continue looking forward to see how I can service you in the future, or I can add to what you're doing in the future. But at this moment right now, I'm not looking at investments, right? And they emailed me back and said, well, you know what? Connect with us and they sent a cover of a magazine. Would you be interested at no cost to write an article in our magazine? And it's not gonna be till August, but that's me telling them, "Nah, I'm not in." I say very nicely, like I'm not looking to invest at the moment. However, what you do is great, and I'll keep looking. And now they want me to write an article.
Oh, that makes sense. High five. Look at that.
Mhm.
You've gone from podcast guest to article writer, contributor,
To
Hall of Fame.
talking to Oprah.
That's it. That's it. I mean, did Oprah respond back yet? Wait, you're muted. We can't hear you. You're muted. We can't hear you. You're talking to your computer
I
screen.
said, no wonder it was hearing. I said, yeah, I sent it on what, Thursday? And I know everybody's traveling to California for the Oscar, but I'm timing it. And there's a way I'm going to respond to. I will get a response even to say not at this moment. But
Yeah.
the idea for me was more exciting that it just popped up in my face and there's a history there.
Exactly. I mean, so if y'all don't know the backstory, to kind of sum it up, Jasmine was on Oprah Winfrey show in the past, and she was brought on to do the wellness and kind of get loose thing before the show, and she got everybody energized and amplified, ready for Oprah to come out and things of that sort. They flew her in, her and her friends, gave them, put them in a hotel and everything.
Yeah, nice
So
meal. Nobody
there it
wanted
was.
to eat that meal because we thought we had to pay for it. Because we're in a private area with a butler standing with the napkin over his hand, and we're saying, we're not washing dishes, so we're not drinking that wine. And he kept saying, come on, drink, we just take a little sip. And then they come and fill. And he comes up and he says, you can't leave all this, enjoy yourself. Everything is taken care of, and stuff like that. I wasn't even allowed to leave a tip. It was all taken care of.
That's incredible.
And we were sitting there not
Incredible.
wanting to eat. Had I known, the lobster would have been on the plate.
No, that's cool, man. Well, hey, good to see everybody. So great reports of success for the week. Glad to see people getting booked, getting your message out there. Again, SpeakerHub is the amplifier of speakers. We are not your competition. We're your enablers. We want to enable you to speak more. So any questions or any tech support things we need to go through? Good to see Ange back. Ange was out for a couple of days. Good to see her back. Sharon, I see you have a question.
Yes, thank you. So I actually have 2 questions. The first one is regarding the business, the challenge, the speaker challenge. And the link in regards to the trial. So I did respond to your note. I saw that you responded to me. It looks like I need to start a new account in order to access those pitch features.
No, they're separate. It's a separate system, right?
Okay.
So let me walk you through that, and then it'll make it easier for you to understand. So SpeakerHub is basically when we first, well, before I owned SpeakerHub, SpeakerHub was just a directory. It was basically LinkedIn for speakers. It was the largest directory of speakers in the world, had 52,000 people just like Lewis. And one portion of what we do is called the speaker page. Now, why is this important? This is super duper duper important because if I go over to Google and I type in Louis Scarantino, right? And I don't know if I spelled his name right. I think I may have screwed it up. Let me make sure. Scarantino, there it is. Luis Scarantino. We want to make sure that we find Louis, right? And this seems to be the same person until you get down here a little bit further down at the bottom, right? But the way that event planners look for you is that they type in speaker after your name, and you can see there's smart speakers, blah, blah, blah. And then there's his SpeakerHub profile, right? But you notice, right? So he has his basic page, but we're going to always rank somewhere close to the top of that page. So for people who don't have their own website, or they're not very popular as a speaker, or there are multiple people with a very similar name, this is really, really, really important. Like Rob Howard. Let's look at him. I'll show you. So I guarantee you there's a million Rob Howards, right? So when we type in Rob Howard, well, that doesn't look like the guy that's this Rob Howard. You see that dude? Doesn't look nothing like him. So who's gonna find him? Right? Where is he? Which one? He's this definitely ain't him, right? So how do we find the Rob Howard we're looking for? We put speaker behind his name, and who comes first? You see that? Right off the bat, the first thing you see is his SpeakerHub page. You know, I don't even know if that's him, but I know this is him, right? So that's the power of the speaker directory. Does that make sense, Sharon? So
Yeah,
that may be
I believe
what
that
you
I
already.
have the speaker page.
Yep. So when I bought the company, I added these other four tools. We added the speaker data, right? We added speaker GPT. So you got your speaker page. We added speaker data. We added the CRM so that you could manage the emails and be able to follow up with people. We added Chat GPT so that it could write the emails and match you to the opportunities. And then we added the QR code that allows you to generate leads from your opportunities, right? And we call that, when it's all working together, the flywheel. We need your inbound and your outbound. I don't know anybody who isn't famous that has built a speaking career where they can make a living just waiting on people to find them. That's like saying, oh, I'm a singer, but I'm never going to tell anybody I can sing. I only sing in the shower. Motown should find me. How? What type of creepy stuff is that, right? So I got to start letting people know that I am a singer or I am a speaker. That's through outbound pitching to different opportunities. So Mick, I got a trick question for you. If you think of your top 5 favorite speakers, right? How many of them have you heard speak live and in person?
One.
Right? Right? So that's a good answer. And that's the most common answer. The reason being is they became your favorite speaker, not from you hearing them speak at a conference, but from you getting caught up in their flywheel, hearing them on podcasts, watching them on YouTube, small videos or small association recordings that they did, buying a book that they wrote in other types of media publications, seeing them on the radio, TV. You got caught up in their flywheel. Every speaker that I meet says, I don't want to do any of that. I just want to do this, but I want to be like him that's doing all of it. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to lose. You're going to hate it over here. I can tell you that for a fact. You're going to hate it at SpeakerHub because we're going to push you to do all of it, right? Because we know that this is what separates the best speakers from the rest. So if your favorites are doing it, you should probably be doing it, right? And there was I heard a guy say this, and it was incredible. One of the guys, he says, well, you know, he was talking to people about growing their business. And there's this little kind of word that people use, oh, that's not scalable. That's, you know, like, dude, get out of here. People have been scalable for years. We've always been able to add more employees. It's the easiest thing to scale. Just hire more people. The only thing that stops you from scaling employees is a limit of capital. But you can scale humans. Hey, how many of y'all want to do it, right? So what he said in response was, everything is scalable. Maybe you're not scalable, meaning you don't have the skill yet to scale it, right? So I hear it all the time that I don't want to go on podcasts. I don't want to do this. I don't want to, I've done that and I don't get anything. Yeah, you just don't have the skill. But I built our entire agency and business without any advertising, just going on podcasts, right? I've gotten booked. I have 100% booking ratio on pitches for speaking gigs because I know the skill it takes to get booked for myself. You know what you do? You call and you offer them money instead of asking them for money. They book you every time. You say, hey, I want a sponsor. They say, how long you want to talk? Works every time. Right? Now, if you don't have that ability, then you got to find a different way to do it. Your probability may be a little lower. But we don't want to hear what's not possible because we can teach you what we know. So I bring that up, Sharon, to say that there are two separate systems. One is for inbound, which is what I showed you, and the link that you need for to get access to this is a whole separate system called SpeakerHub Pro, and that's the link that Lethea gave you, right? So I'll give it to you if you don't have it, but I'll get it to you. So we modeled this after SpeakerHub is basically, we just copied LinkedIn. So LinkedIn gives you a profile, right? And you see mine says what? Premium. You see that at the top? That means I pay for LinkedIn. Just like, let me show you a guy here. Let me get Erica. Oh, Erica's back, right? Just like you see how Louis Garantino's, his says gold. You see that gold thing there? That means that he has a paid profile, which gives him more privileges than someone with a free profile. So just like my premium LinkedIn, if you don't pay LinkedIn, yours doesn't have this premium tag up there. We do the same thing because I get different analytics. Does that make sense? But they also have a thing that I pay $200 a month for called Sales Navigator. It looks nothing like LinkedIn, but it's a part of LinkedIn. This is LinkedIn's outbound system. Just like our SpeakerHub Pro, they just call theirs Sales Navigator. How many of y'all have ever seen this? Right? But if you give them $200, they'll give it to you. They'll give you a great deal. $200, you get access to it. Right? Right? So, but this allows me to reach out to anybody on LinkedIn without a limit. And not only can I reach out to them, but LinkedIn will send them an email saying, Ron contacted you. You ain't said nothing in 2 days, and it'll keep bothering them. It's called InMail, right? So that's the same system. Guess what you get? Guess how many InMails I get? I want to show you this because we get asked this all the time. With my InMail features, with sales, oh, they just showed it there, InMail. How many emails do I get? I got 150. How many pitches do you get? About 100, 200, depending on which plan. We're just following LinkedIn. Does that make sense? So you can have your free page, you can have your profile, and then you can have your Sales Navigator. I guarantee you the people with Sales Navigator make more money off of LinkedIn using it than the people that just have the free page. In the same way, the folks that are on here, on this call that are using SpeakerHub Pro, they get booked 7 times more than the people who just have a free SpeakerHub page. Does that make sense? So Sharon, I'm going to get you the link that you need. Any other questions? I know you said you had two, and that was just one.
The
So
other
what's
one, I just wanted to ask these sessions, I'm not sure what you call them. I know you do.
yeah, we call them co-working, speaker co-working.
Are these just for SpeakerHub members? How does it work?
Nope. Mick, are you a SpeakerHub user?
I have it up in a browser right now, and I was trying to decide whether it was worth filling out. So I came to this
See?
thing to see if it was like an actual thing or if this
Yeah.
was just like a sales pitch. So that's where I'm
Yeah,
at.
see, there it is. So Mick isn't a user. Mick isn't a SpeakerHub user at all. So we do this call every day. Any speaker in the world can come on this call and learn how we help people to get booked or get advice. You ain't got to use our tools. I don't really care. I just got to get more positive messages into the world. Now, you're doing it the hard way without us, right? But you know, if you come over, you're like, no, it's better to be doing this way. Keep doing it and keep showing up here, and we will cheer you on as if you were a SpeakerHub lifetime member, right? But you know, so we're not haters over here. We're gonna encourage you. I just sent you a private message, Sharon, with the link for from the challenge. We're gonna get you booked. We want to help you. We're gonna give you the tools. So, any other questions, Sharon?
I was curious about the lifetime membership. Is that something that's still available, or was that like an introductory something, or and where would I
Yep.
find that? Just if I was curious.
So it started as something that we introduced as a beta program back in July, and then it did really well during Black Friday. So he said, you know what, let's just make 100 available per year. So each month we allow 8 new ones, right? So today's March 3rd, which means that the counter reset on Saturday. So we have 8 new ones that we will make available. Ange can send you the link to that. If you're just interested in learning more about it, it's basically if you pay us about 1 year of fees up front without monthly payments, just 1 year, but we'll finance it for you, which makes it even easier. We give you access for life. So how many lifetime people we got in here right now? We got Jadika, Bart. Yeah, there we go. You can see, you know, SpeakerHub for life. Right? So we got a gang of lifetime members, Bonnie, everybody. I mean, this is what we do. We get people booked. So, you know, yeah, I guess that's the best way. One of the things that we talk about, Erica, good to see you again with your baseball cap on. Is that a Columbia hat? What's that logo?
No, it's a Germany hat.
Oh, okay. I thought Columbia's look just like that. It just got yellow in there.
It's my Germany hat from my time spent actually traveling to the continent of Africa.
Oh yeah, no, that's incredible. So one of the things that the story I like to tell is about a farmer, and a farmer went out to his farm animals and he said, "Hey, guys, today we have bacon and eggs," and the chicken was excited. He was, "Hoo-hoo, I get to help out today, man. I get to help out." And the pig was like, "Oh, this kind of sucks." And the chicken thinks he's just a hater. You're like, dude, why you hating on me? I get to give eggs. You should be excited for me. I thought we was boys. He said, yeah, but you giving eggs is just a contribution. Me providing bacon requires total commitment on my part. And a lot of us came into speaking because someone asked us to contribute, right? Hey, can you talk about this topic? Can you do this? And we ended up making this commitment for the rest of our lives to share this message or to share our passions, especially someone like Mick, who was a pastor. That's a lifelong commitment that has heaven and hell consequences, right? So, you know, when you decide to go down this path, we felt that those who would make a commitment to us deserved a bit better treatment than those who wanted to try us for a week, right? Who just wanted to see if they could contribute. No, commit, go all the way in, because we're all the way in. You know, we don't really, you know, we're not going to half-ass it with you. We want you to be on stage, whether you're our client or not. So that's what the lifetime deals are about, Sharon. And Angela can send you a link to that. We finance it for you. If you commit to us, we give you the best discount ever. Bonnie, what's your question?
Hello again. Hey guys, I want to introduce my favorite under 21-year-old tuning in from Lewis and Clark University, one Finley Miranda.
Hey, Finley. Finley, what's up? What up? Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Introduce yourself. We want to know who you are. One of our speaker scholarship recipients from Bonnie. That's a big deal.
Yeah, so just a little about me. I am 20 years old. I go to Lewis and Clark College, like Bonnie said, in Portland,
Where's that
Oregon.
located? Portland, Oregon. Okay.
Yes. It's just a small private liberal arts school. Um, I've done a lot of um public speaking and activist work throughout my life, I guess. Um, Bonnie is my neighbor, so she's been able to experience all of that from a young age. Like, well, she's been there since I was born. Um, but I don't know, I have a lot of
What's your
experience.
topic? What type of activism work do you do?
I don't have a super specific focus. It's a wide range, but more in into the Black Lives Matter movement and uh, reproductive justice, and more on a smaller level. I have been working on for unhoused people. Yesterday we made 250 sack lunches for a local shelter in Portland. So that
High
was really
freaking
cool.
five to you. Super duper cool. No, thank you
Yeah.
for showing up. In the chat. I just put a link so that you can go ahead and get signed up for the scholarship. You should have gotten it. If you click there, it should get you in. Once I get the ding that you got it, I'll get your account set up so you can get started. Thanks for being a voice. One of the things that we are very proud of is that we want our speakers to be the leaders that they needed, right? We all needed somebody at some point. When I was 15, 16, 17, growing up in East St. Louis, um, I didn't have anyone that could tell me more about speaking. And so I made a lot of mistakes early on. But I learned from those mistakes. And I did have some great leaders in my life, but they weren't doing the things that I was doing. So my mission is to be the leader I needed in every aspect of life, because it doesn't hurt anything to reach back and pull somebody up, because you just never know who you're pulling up, and they're younger than me. They're going to outlive me anyway, right? Hopefully. So we just want to pay that forward. So anybody you know that's a speaker that wants to get on podcast, and they don't even have to be like, hey, I only want to be on stage. If they can share their message via podcast and make a positive impact. If they're an entrepreneur and they want to speak from stage to move their products and services, tell them to come over to SpeakerHub. We will help them to do whatever they need to do to get that message out there. So it's bigger than us, guys. It's way bigger than us. Jasmine, go ahead. Was that helpful, Finley? Cool, cool. Keep up the good work. You're always welcome here. You got any questions, you hit me up. All right. Jasmine, what's up?
I solved what I needed on SpeakerHub. That's fine. I have
Look
the
at
other
that.
computer, so everything is great.
Perfect.
I like the way on the new page. I don't know, did you put, which is in our conversations from last week, you want people to apply. You want serious people to be here.
Yeah.
And instead of, so I saw that. Is that new?
100%. We started it
Yes.
last week,
Yeah.
and last week alone, normally we probably average about 150 trials a week, but it's just people kind of dibbling and dabbling, looking around. So
Yeah.
far last week, we had 227 applications since Wednesday. since we went to the application process instead of just letting people play around with software and they never know what they're doing anyway. And it just causes a bunch of support confusion. No speaker has ever woken up in the morning and said, man, I need another piece of software. Never, never have they said that. They all say, I need to get more gigs and I need a community of people that can help me to get on more gigs that I could vent to every once in a while. This is a lonely business, right? Speaking is, you're not only lonely by yourself on stage, but you're by yourself when you're trying to get on stage. And we wanted to change that. We wanted to make sure that you felt like there were other speakers that that understood you, that could empathize with you, that could cheer you on. Like Bonnie, I gently nudge Bonnie every day to send the pitch, and she did it over the weekend. So we celebrate that like you wouldn't believe, because that's what it takes. It takes that little hug that Jasmine gave Bonnie last week. She said, Ron, leave her alone. She's just getting prepared, and I promise you she's going to do it. And I said, Jasmine, I got you. That's what Jasmine said. She didn't use good words.
You got that. You're intuitive, eh?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I mean, look, when somebody works with Lennox Lewis, I figured you know how to fight.
Yes.
So I'm not about to fight Lennox Lewis's manager on this call and have you punching me in my head. So I got it. So Bonnie
speaking about
hired
that,
Jasmine as her security guard. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And it worked.
And I said it very diplomatically, remember?
I knew what you meant. Look, I grew up in a house with 3 Black women. I know what you were saying underneath. I heard the violence in your undertones, but it worked. We both got what we want.
Yes. And
We got
Bonnie's
her
pitching
pitching.
the speak hand, you know,
There it
and
is.
in saying that, you're saying what we have here, how special this is, because when Lennox took his business from Canada, I merged into real estate. What I used to do to keep me motivated, I used to drive around areas that are having new construction. And I would get excited and going, oh, this is potential business. Oh, this is potential business coming in, right? But we had to go out there and scout for it. Here, I can wake up in the morning, I can do my phone calls, I do whatever I need to do, my morning routine, my yoga, whatever I need to do. And I come and I have ways to go and fish. So every day I wake up, I know the pond is full. The pond is full of snapper and lobster and everything. And I'm just going to go reel out my hook. So that's how I look at this every day.
There it is. There it is. That is Jasmine, the security guard for Bonnie Brindle, with the word of the day. We got a lot of fish. Erica, what's up? Good to see you.
Love it when I was welcoming Angela back and I was saying, you know, we miss you. And then you popped your head up and go, I'm right here, you know.
Yeah, see, the other day, she didn't think I was on the call. She didn't see my face. So she's like, yeah, we kind of missed you. You know, Ron's okay, but you weren't here. I'm like, hey, you know I can hear you, right? You know? So I appreciate it, Jasmine. Your personality is always welcome. And it's always refreshing to have the joy. I don't think Jasmine's had a bad day in a long time. She's always happy. So, Erica, what's your question?
I don't have a question. I just wanted to share a few updates, just some wins. Angela is aware. It was happening in real time, and I immediately messaged her. So SpeakerHub, on the inbound last week, I received a pitch from a major European communications company scouting me to speak at the Cannes Lions in France. And I was like, oh, like I knew it was real, but I was like, is it real? And I was telling Andrew, I was like, I am stuck in my seat. I don't know what to do. And it floored me. That was my first inbound with SpeakerHub. And I was completely blown away. Whether I actually get it or not, the fact that they were looking at my expertise focused on AI and policy and wanted me essentially potentially to speak to like some of the top decision makers at an actual exclusive dinner. So it was like, just, yeah. So I just wanted to share that. And also wanted to share, and for those who don't know, the Cannes Lions is a lot of people seem to know, but it's basically like the Super Bowl of creativity, like creatives and innovation. And it's held in France. And then also, I think I mentioned I was going to be speaking at George Washington University. So I did almost a week and a half ago, focused on innovation and public health. So I was part of a panel there and received just a lot of great feedback on just for folks that are in the room, like, owning your own voice, like my level of authenticity. Like there were some people who were, speaking from like these very optimistic standpoints. And I just basically on this panel called the thing a thing. I was like, well, it's great to be optimistic, but the reality is what's happening in the nation directly impacts things around digital literacy gaps, funding and education. And so I just wanted to just briefly say that whatever the thing is that you're speaking on, speak from it from a place of authenticity, your truth, and from facts, and keeping it honestly 100, because we're not in a time where the sky is blue and it's all roses and peaches. We got to kind of call the thing a thing. And that was something that the crowd definitely really received and had a lot of follow-up feedback. Actually had some follow-up discussions as a result of that as well, working with one of the major researchers that was there. She was like, thank you so much. I was sitting right next to her. She's over like this major department at George Washington on the hospital side, university on the hospital side. And she was really grateful for me just calling the things out loud. And then also this week, I'll be virtually speaking at TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority Cybersecurity Symposium. And lastly, I know Finley mentioned things around like social justice and advocacy. I will actually be on Capitol Hill this week speaking for March of Dimes. As many people know, I'm a March of Dimes ambassador, and it's March for Change is our major Hill Day. We do it every year, but this year I'll actually be a lead and being able to represent across not only for the state of Virginia, but for really all families, and really speaking to the congressional leaders and their staffers, specifically on their 4 bills we're looking at, but even more importantly, as we know, they're on Medicaid is on the chopping block, being able to speak to that, and being that in Virginia, when you want to talk about like reproductive justice and all these things, that Medicaid in Virginia is actually really good. As someone who had my own private insurance, I didn't even know that Medicaid, they call it institutional Medicaid here. When my daughter was in the NICU as a non-preemie baby, at day 31, institutional Medicaid actually was super instrumental in being able to pay what my private insurance didn't, because we had a bill for 2 months, no surgery. It was over $500,000. And I always tell people you're one hospital catastrophe away from being broke. And it shouldn't have to happen to you for it to matter to you. And just wanted to share that because I know Finley mentioned that some of the reproductive justice work she's doing and interested in. And then lastly, along with AJ, we'll be speaking the CSI immersion patients that got on the call like almost a month ago or so. Well, that's coming up this weekend. So super excited to be speaking on that. And then for anyone that's new and joining here, just wanted to share just some things that have been happening because of the work that I've been putting in here at SpeakerHub, and then things I've been doing on the side. And lastly, Ron, I'll just say this. We know I live in the DC area, with the federal workforce being very much so dismantled very irresponsibly and rapidly. As a former national security public servant, what I did on President's Day is that I hosted this whole workshop. Because of that workshop that gained so much traction in 48 hours, I built 2 different programs out of that. And then tonight I'll actually be hosting a Q&A session to, instead of doing the workshop again, because it is very time consuming, I'm gonna basically allow people to ask me anything that are trying to pivot from federal government because they've been laid off, or jobs insecurities, because I was able to successfully do that, going to big tech, but then also doing my entrepreneurial work and reminding people you have transferable skills and you don't have to panic. You just need to pivot. And as a Black woman, I never get the option of panicking. Cry a little bit, pivot, and we got to move right along. So just wanted to share that today.
No, that is a huge deal. If anybody on this call has ever questioned if they're in the right place, look, our voices got hands and feet. Okay, we ain't just over here talking. We doing the daggone work, right? So we want to make sure that we can activate not only our voices, but activate our hands and feet in order to get the work done, whether it's on your stage that you've created yourself, your platform that you've created yourself, or a platform that's been loaned to you for an hour for you to be able to share your message, whether that's a podcast, an association, or a large conference. You have to remember that everything on this earth started with words. Let there be light, right? Now, that means that you don't have the luxury to turn your light off because you were commanded to show it. It wasn't just to earth, it was to everyone. So if we believe that, that we just got to get our behinds to work, put some feet and hands with these, when I was growing up, if somebody said they put their hands and feet on you, that means you got beat up. But what we talking about over here, we putting our hands and feet to work for a more positive thing. It's not for gang banging and stuff that I used to witness, hands and footwork. That was a bad deal. So, but y'all get what I'm saying. We're going to high five to Erica for doing the work. High five to everyone else. This has been an hour of just, I didn't even get to talk about nothing. This has been an hour of high fives and people getting booked. A lot happened over this weekend. What a heck of a start to 2025. If you all know, coming into January, we were booking a new stage every 96 minutes. In February, we got that down to every 51 minutes, right? My goal is to get that down to single digits by June, okay? Which means we got a lot more pitching and a lot more booking to do. But that means we book 25 gigs a day or 25 meetings with event planners per day using SpeakerHub Pro. We don't track any of the stuff that comes from the speaker page because we don't have if they reach out to you directly, we don't know. But in SpeakerHub Pro, we know that 25 meetings with meeting planners are being booked on a daily basis. We will get that down into single digits so that we have 100 meetings booked per day. Think about that. That's every 15 minutes or so, right? I want to get it down to single digits. I think it's like 125 I got to get to, but we're on our way. We're on our way. We just got to 5X that in the next few months, and I'm going to keep pushing. So we're about to go into overtime. Lawrence, I know you got another question. Just kind of want to, for those who are new, who don't know the format. Also, Chantel dropped her book last week. I think I was the first person to buy it. She saw it go live, and I was like, I'm buying it. And we had a great encouragement session for her on Friday because she's stepping out of the box. If you all remember when I taught about how to launch your book, I told you shouldn't be selling them $8 books or 99-cent books on Amazon. So she put her book out there for $49 and I bought it because I told her to do it at $49. Just like we showed all the stuff. Don't be selling your stuff for $6. Put a real price on it if you're providing value. I don't know how many books she sold over the weekend, but she had her book launch on Saturday. So how's it going, Chantel, before we get to Lawrence?
It's going amazing. And actually, I'm gonna be on a TV show in 30 minutes. So I'm gonna start launching it. And the TV show is called Authors Around the Table. Got that going. I was on a podcast last night, got that going. I have 2 more events after the TV show. I've been pitching like crazy this weekend. And I have like a slew of emails that I'm not even going to be able to go through until a couple of hours. Like literally, like I got like 50 emails. So I'm going through them and I'm going for it. That's it. Can't nobody hold me back. I'm in it. So,
How dope
my
is that?
book, Yep, my book is called Influence Yourself in Leadership and Life. And that's what I'm doing. I'm influencing myself. And thank you, Ron, for the tips. Everything gets implemented in real action around here. I don't even have a to-do list. I got a to-die list because by the time I put it down, it's already done. Boom, to-die, and I'm on to the next.
No, that's dope, man. In the popular number one song in the country, it's if you've ever been to any other community, you come over here and you say, yeah, they ain't like us. They not like us. This is a different world. And if you don't believe it, just keep showing up. This happens every day, guys. This isn't once in a while. We do this every day at 12 o'clock and at 7 p.m. This is the SpeakerHub Speaker Co-working session where we walk what we talk. We don't teach anything we haven't lived. We don't allow people to teach things they haven't lived. So we hold you accountable because you hold us accountable. When our software don't work, y'all tell us, man, that thing didn't work. Okay, cool. When you ain't working, I'm gonna tell you, you ain't working. So we're gonna do that two-way accountability over here. And we're about to go into overtime. So this is at 1 o'clock. We usually end this at well, the official time is until 1. Anything over 1 is overtime, which means that we go into my next call. My next call today is at 1:30. So because I got to eat lunch in between there before the rest of my meetings, we can go until 1:15. Today, I'm going to grab a 15-minute lunch in the meantime, and we're going to keep this thing rocking. So Lawrence, 3 minutes, what you got?
So 2 things. The first one that I was trying to find like my speaker page, is that where I go on the branding page on SpeakerHub Pro, or is that a separate thing?
Yep. So I'm going to send you the link to that so that you can set up your speaker page. Okay.
All right. Perfect. And the second thing, when Jadman brought up like the analogy of the lake being full of fish and lobster, because I'm somebody who like absolutely loves fishing. Like I have my rods next to me right off in the corner. Something that fishing has taught me that I apply to speaking as well is you can be doing the perfect thing with the perfect setup, the perfect pitch, everything, but you still gotta wait until the event planner bites. And a lot of times they'll be right there. They're about to bite, but you're like, oh my gosh, you're taking too long. Let me not follow up on that. And you pull it out right before the fish bites. Or you're doing everything exactly perfect, but you get distracted. You stop checking your email for a week. And by the time you do realize, like, oh, there's a fish on the line, it's ran away with the bait, because how am I going to book you if you're not there to reel me in?
That's a good example. No.
Fantastic. Lawrence. That's how I look at it. We got to fish every day and pull in the fish.
And then on top of that, those people who go like deep sea fishing, it's a really, really big ocean. There are going to be days when you come back with 2 fish. There's going to be days when you come back with no fish. But there will also be those days when you come back with this massive net and you've got fish and dolphins and whales and sea lions, and you've caught everything under the sea. But in order to get to the point where you're like deep sea fishing, you're up on these TEDx stages, and you're getting paid $25,000 an hour, to get to that point, you have to start out with the wooden rod and reel and go down to the river and come back with a fish this big. You got to start somewhere, and don't compare what you catch to what somebody else catches. Tony Robbins has a much bigger net than me, but that doesn't mean that I minimize my fish compared to his fish, because of course he's going to have a bigger net. He's been doing it for like, I don't know what, 40 years or something? But he's not fishing in my lake. And then getting out of the mindset of thinking in terms of lakes, you've got a planet of water. There's all these different fish in there. You might catch something that nobody else can catch. So on that, I'm going to have to cut myself short, because I could go for an hour straight making metaphors about fishing, speaking, and life.
Well, there it is. I mean, I think we found out what Lawrence likes to do. Lawrence is a fisherman. Lawrence talks about fishing like I talk about golf and sales. You know, that's a big deal. That's a huge passion of yours, Lawrence. High five to you, man, because that's another thing that requires patience and discipline to do. And you know, I think that's pretty dope. I remember my stepdad took me fishing. This is the last time I went. I was about 8, and he was like, "Hey, don't you go out on that log?" I'm like, "I can balance myself. I got good control and balance." Man, that daggone log moved. Psh, I'm in the daggone lake, all wet, everything, and he had to get in there and get me out because I didn't know how to swim. I'm like, you know, but yeah. So that was my last time fishing. So Lawrence, high five to you. Um, I was 10 toes in, as Bonnie liked to say. I jumped right in that lake that day. But anything else, guys? Erica, what's up?
Oh my God. I totally forgot to mention that understood.org actually reached out to me, which is understood.org is a major foundation focused on ADHD and dyslexia. As some people know on the call here, I have ADHD, recently diagnosed like a year ago last month, and they reached out because they had read my feature in Canvas Rebel. So they want me to be on their podcast called ADHD Aha. And that has over like understood.org and ADHD Aha has over like 500,000 email subscribers. I was just floored. I know somebody who worked there, and I thought initially like, oh, it came from her. It did not. They did the work on their own to find me.
No, that's
So
dope. And here's the
super
thing:
excited.
even if it did come from your friend, take your
No,
bet on that
I agree.
podcast. I just want to make sure because people be trying to minimize their relationships. If somebody booked you, go on there. Shoot, I wish I had somebody who could hook me up with every podcast.
That part.
Jamie from Joe
Nope.
Rogan, any of these folks that got, anybody who a producer, hook me up. I
You
want to hook
listen,
up.
I'm with you. I'm from Memphis. Like I said, you from that? Look, we get this. Look.
I just want to make sure because people be like, "Oh, man, look, if you got a hookup from your friend, that's what they supposed to do.
I
They're
don't
your
disagree.
friend. Like I hook up all my friends. Ain't none of my
That
friends
part.
ever paid me for nothing. I'm like, dude, whatever I got is yours. That's why we friends, right? So Chef Lee, I've made a mistake. And Mara Santos, I have been slipping. I didn't let you all introduce yourselves. So Mara, if you want to introduce yourself, Chef Lee, if you want to introduce yourself, I want to make sure you all feel at home. My behind got to talking, and I forgot to let y'all introduce yourselves. Hopefully you feel at home. This the cookout. Wait, she left? Who? Oh, no, they still here.
No,
So
she's at the
Chef Lee, if
bottom.
you want to, okay.
I
If
was
you want
just
to,
asked by
oh,
my
Mara, okay.
executive, Sherry Wynn. She's part of the
Yeah.
program. So she asked me to join because she has a call at the moment. So I'm
Yeah,
taking
Sherry and I met this morning. What do you think so far? You think does it sound like we get results over here?
Yes, the results were amazing.
No, that's cool. Yeah, Sherry and I had a great call this morning, and she mentioned that you would be joining us. So good to see you.
Yes. Thank you.
Yep. And Chef Lee, oh, she on another call. We gotta wait till she get off her other call over there. Anything else, guys? We got 8 more minutes. But this has been an exciting day. Great start to March. 1/6 of your year is already gone. So we got about, I don't know, what is it? 84% of the year still left. Something like that. I don't know what 12 divided by 6 is. I don't know how to do the maths. Y'all know what I'm talking about. 5/6 of the year is left. 10/12. You got 10/12 of the year left. So all my mathematicians, we needed Alicia. Alicia is a data scientist that can do math in her sleep. She usually comes to our 7 o'clock meeting. She's not here. So Bonnie Brindle, what's up?
Really quick, when you guys send out the link for your testimonials, is that working smoothly for everyone?
Which link are you referring to?
When I go into the SpeakerHub Pro page, it says testimonials, send this, and it's in yellow. So I
Yep.
sent it off. So people are getting them back from those and it's working smoothly? Just checking.
I'm not sure. You want to send me one and then I'll tell you?
Okay,
Email it to me. Yeah, send me an email and I'll give you so I can see if I get the testimonial link and then
okay,
all right, cool.
great. I'll do that. Thank
All
you.
right. Yep. So Chef Lee, you want to say what's up? I saw you closing deals. Look, let me tell you something. We ain't gonna get in the way of no money. I'm gonna promise you that over here. We ain't getting in the way. We will wait if you making some money. So do your thing.
No problem. Well, thank you so much for having me. This is my first time on, and I actually just randomly found the email in my emails as I was going through them through the weekend. So my apologies for being late. My name is Chef Lee. I am a celebrity chef as well as a nutritionist who speaks and teaches around the world with a focus on helping large corporations save time and money upwards to $3.1 million through my Your Version of Healthy program. And I also work with or facilitate nutrition classes, talks, and large scale events and one-on-ones with individuals who are looking to also find your version of healthy. But thank you so very much for having me. I look forward to learning more and networking throughout the community.
Yep, we do this every day. We handle support calls. So I know Mara is here because she works for Sherry Wynn. Mara, if you ever have any questions, any issues with our software, any issues with our system, just like Bonnie just asked, hey, if I send a testimonial, is this working right or whatever? We do that support and training here also. It just so happened we had so much momentum and so many people celebrating their success today that we didn't spend a lot of time on doing support calls because it's evident that even if there were support issues, it didn't stop them from sending their pitches and getting responses. SpeakerHub has come a long way over the last 8 months of me owning it, but our company overall, the company that I own, has Speaker HQ has come a long way. Our 3 software products has been game changing for the people that they serve. And we're going to keep up with the mission of going forward. We make the same commitment today that we made to Rain 3 years ago, that we made to AJ back in 2020. Leroy, what's up? I think Leroy is, he was licking his fingers off his chicken and rice he had and slipped on the unmute button by mistake. But yeah, this is what we do on a daily basis. So you all are always welcome. Jack, I want to go ahead and get you set up. So after this call, if you want to stay on for 3 minutes, we can go ahead and get you all rocking and ready.
Okay.
Any other questions for me, guys, before we hop off for the day? No? All right. Well, this has been cool. It's been exciting, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And yeah, let's keep rising, keep shining. Chef Lee, come back. You're welcome back over here. We got to get you. People need some healthy food. We put you with Jasmine and her workouts. You know, it's gonna be great.
I would
All right?
love to. I will definitely see everyone tomorrow. Thank you so much for having me.